fundraiser, mentoring, and many more. Aaron's life contributor is Ray Uzelman, Jr.
Now, as you can see, I'm up here, I'm flying solo tonight. Grandpa Ray is moving on to bigger and better things, and by that I mean Texas. Ray Uzelman, the man I want to be. When asked to write about someone who made a significant impact on my life, only one person enters my mind, my Grandpa Ray. He fits the model of a role model perfectly. He is always in a good mood, thinks highly of almost everyone, and proved to himself and his family that someone can become very successful in life while starting with next to nothing. Someday, I want to be just like him, not in the sense of material wealth, but through his demeanor and attitude. He seems like he understands the way life ought to be lived. Ray Uzelman was, is, and will be the reason why each and every day of my life I will strive to give other people a reason to smile. It is very hard to find a person who my grandpa doesn't like. Everywhere we go, be it into town, on the water, or even in a brand new area, he will find someone to strike up a conversation with. My grandpa's a handyman. Every year he makes a solid effort to visit each of his kids' homes over the course of the year to do an array of jobs ranging from tiling and plumbing to painting and yard work. Also, many of his grandkids, including myself, are involved in extracurricular activities, such as music and sports. He and my grandma, Glenda, travel all around to support all that we do. 2 years ago, they were at our Pops concert. When the Sturgill's Oak Ridge Boys came out on stage and performed Elvira, he thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. The next morning, while he was drinking his coffee, I could still hear him humming that tune. He really does love each and every person he comes into contact with, which is one of the reasons I look up to him so much. Another reason why he was my role model is that he is the man that keeps his word. When he's asked to do something, he does it. No questions asked. He likes to be trusted. About 4 years ago, we decided to remodel our kitchen. True to his word, he made the 5-hour drive with my grandma to give us an extra pair of helping hands. It turned out that he laid the best and most uniform-looking tiles our contractor has ever seen. Not bad for his first time. Whenever anybody's in need of assistance, he's always the first on the scene. Moving, babysitting, house watching, repair work. You name it, he'll at least give it his best effort. Before he retired, he worked at a plant called Mason Brothers in Wadena, Minnesota. He was in charge of inventory. When my family and I visited my grandparents, he always made time to relax and catch up with us. But when a certain time hit, he had a job to do. There he sat at the kitchen table with open notebooks, a calculator being tapped away at, a worn but reliable briefcase, finishing his work at home. Sometimes he went at it for hours, but he and I both knew he had a job to do, and wasn't going to call it quits until it was completely finished. That is the way I must live my life, to be trustworthy and driven. The final reason I see my grandpa as a role model is that he became successful not by inheritance, but through hard work, persistence, and the feeling that everything he has worked for could be destroyed, just like that. Before he was employed by Mason Brothers, he owned a dairy farm, where he and my grandma raised their 7 kids, 2 boys and 5 daughters. My mom, the oldest of their kids, has told me numerous stories of life on their farm. The most recurring story is when they had to get up at 5:30 in the morning every day to go milk cows. She even holds it against me sometimes when I disagree with a certain chore. You should be thankful you're not out milking cows at 6 in the morning. That's a line I've heard countless times over the course of my 18 years. But I can see shades of my grandpa in my mom, and in all of my aunts and uncles. They each share the same type of attitude, the never quit attitude. The attitude that says the job isn't finished until it is done right. I admire that so much about him. My Grandpa Ray is one of a kind. If you wanted the room painted in 3 hours, he is someone who would finish it, one of the best jobs you've ever seen, in 2 hours. If you needed something hauled, he would have the proper size trailer for the job, along with enough rope to cover every inch of what is being shipped. As you can see, his attitude towards life and the ones around him is a very special trait. That is why he is supposed to be up here with me today. Without even trying, that unique trait has gradually been wearing off on me, and I want to thank him for that. From now on, I will spend each day of my life trying to become half of what the hardworking, persistent, and loving Ray Uzelman is today.